Hello. Now, you might be, if you looked at the date immediately, you'll be a bit confused. We are at the last day of the season. The last episode you saw was the transfer window, and all of a sudden, we're playing Everton on the last day, and you may wonder why. Let me explain. So, during a season, playing Football Manager, especially a season where you're trying to survive in the Premier League, unless you're in the relegation battle, which we haven't really been, you just have a lot of games which don't mean that much. If we look at our past positions for Swindon, we've never really been in trouble. Like, apart from there, when we were a little bit too close for comfort, we've always been around that kind of 10th to 17th mark. We've never been in that much danger. We've never been in any way or shape or form challenging for Europe. So I just felt like the most sensible thing to do would be to skip all the games that really don't mean that much. Obviously, you can see there we had a really rough run of form between the Manchester United game and the Chelsea game. We only got a 1 win and a draw. Fantastic win it was, actually. If I take a look at this, because it was Shinji Kagawa's first game for the club. He got 2 goals and 3 assists, and sadly for me, that's kind of all Shinji's done. If you look at Kagawa's overall stats, I'm going to look through the entire team at the back end, but the 2 goals and 3 assists he got in that game are the only 2 goals and 3 assists he got in any game. I think he found it quite tough going, and I've played him quite a lot, so he's got no excuse really. We've had some good end of season form, and as I say, the league table is now looking a little bit like this. I'm going to run you through the whole squad review so you don't feel like you've missed out on anything. I'm going to run it through all that at the end after we've played the Everton game. Now, the Everton game is quite interesting. Everton are playing us on 72 points, and Manchester United are playing Leicester. Now, Leicester and me are quite close, and this is quite important because although this is an end-of-season game, which I'm saying doesn't mean a great deal, we can still finish around the 14th, 15th mark. And if you look at what 10th place pays, 10th place pays you 12 million, and the 15th gives you 6. So this is a massive deal for Swindon. Our finances are very, very healthy, as you can imagine. I imagine if we look at our stats for the financial year, I'll also run you through this because it's all very... I find this stuff fascinating, to be honest. If we look through, I assume, if you look at our salary, yeah, we're on 15 million. I've not looked at that until right at this moment that you can see me. 15.65, and the next highest is 32.59, which suggests we bought well. We'll see which players performed well towards the back end, but we've got a good game here against Everton. They're a very strong team, very capable. Quite a lot of change since they've last sort of been out. Well, how you might remember them as right now. We're in 2018, and they have progressed a long way in terms of players that have come in and out of the club. James McCarthy's still there though, familiar name. So this could be an interesting game. I don't know how it's going to go down. Our form recently has been very good. We have just lost 3-1 to Man City. I don't think I'm even playing Shinji in this game. I think I'm right in saying, oh no, he is there. There he is. He's loving it. Hopefully he can do something for us. Lucas Boy's form has picked up a little bit. Let's say we owe Everton. There we go. Defensive structured is how we've been getting our wins. So we're going to stay in that. Oh my good sweet Jesus. That's what happens when you play offline. In a great Yarmouth save I've got going on. So yeah, we'll keep it in. We'll just keep it in 2D because I'm going to run you through a lot of the stuff after this. Come on, Shinji. Now the lights are on and I'm back watching. For the sake of the viewers, can you pull out a performance? Oh, you know when you get a 6-1, it's just like, oh man, why couldn't we had that as a live comment? It's been such a good game. But then we have so many losses, and it's like, thank God this isn't the live com. Because it's just horrible when you lose. But no, I thought there's no point in bringing your highlights packages. The games aren't like of a great meaning. And a minute in, Lucas Boy has got us off the mark. I don't know why he hasn't got a face. I'm going to have to look into that because it's annoying me. Around the January time, I was thinking maybe I'm going to have to sell him on because he just wasn't putting in the performance. He had about 20 appearances and 6 goals. But he's picked up a little bit, and a goal there puts him very close to like 17 for the season or something crazy like that. Can we get another one? Boy again, and I'm slagging him off, and within 6 minutes we're 2-0 up against Everton. We can't go any higher than 10th, so we are literally just fighting to hold on to £12 million. And this is an incredible start. I can't be more pleased with this, really. Wow. It's going to be a very interesting summer. I feel like I'm doing transfer window. But I hope you understand that sometimes FM seasons aren't that exciting. I'm sure you've been there. I'm sure you've had those seasons where things are just fine, but they're not that entertaining, and not much is going on. And next year, like, the plan is to really push for a top 8, top 6 finish, provided we can do something in the window. Our stadium capacity will become a problem at some point. Right now, it's not a problem. But I did talk to the board, and I was like, look, we're going to have to expand our stadium. And I think they're going to have to. I think they're literally waiting for me to qualify for a European competition, or maybe sustain ourselves in the Premier League. I don't know, before they even contemplate it, because we can't expand. We literally have to build a new stadium, which will take years. But it could be our Champions League ground. So next season may well be a very similar season to this. But you can't tell if the season's like this. Like, I covered a lot of the pre-season or the first half of the season, because you actually don't know how you're going to get on. There was a moment where I thought we were going to have a really rocky road and slip down, but we just sustained it, and we had enough quality to be okay. But you can't tell that at the start of the season. So you kind of have to cover things in the hope that it sort of builds momentum to a really exciting finish. And whether that, because I felt like we might go on a cup run. Sadly, we lost to Wigan, so it's not all good. But Everton are going to blow away their Champions League spot at this rate. 2-0 down to the Swindon lot. Manchester United have nipped in there. They're obviously beating Leicester or drawing with Leicester or doing something that Everton aren't doing. And after 60 minutes on the clock, we'll make a couple of changes. We'll see who we can bring on. Is there anyone we can give a final game to? Nathan Thompson, club captain, unlikely to stick around with us next year, which is quite sad, but he's just frankly not of the quality. He's not a bad footballer. He's just not of the quality. Ryan Mason as well, probably going to be his last game for the club. So we'll bring on a couple of, I don't know, sentimental substitutions, which is a bit risky, because obviously if Everton come back into this, we'll probably drop down a place. But yeah, neither of them will probably stick around. Press play, Ben. Which is a shame, but we've got to move and we've got to build. And if you're attracting players like Kagawa, then you can potentially get some really good buys in the summer, which is always the aim. As you see from my January updates, I always look to do something special in the summer. And Molo, I'll tell you what, if this guy can become excellent for us next year, he will be a very key guy in how we operate. I'm going to try and be a bit more attacking next year, because I want to get a big, strong midfield. Our midfield, I wouldn't say it lets us down, but we don't seem to control games quite as I'd like to, which then puts a lot of pressure on our strikers to score goals. And in the early part of the season, that wasn't the best thing for us. But towards the back end, I don't know, I've given Boy a little bit more space to operate, and he seems to be enjoying it. And as I talk about how influential Molo could potentially be, he picks himself up an injury, which creates a bit of a dilemma. Diakite will probably leave as well. So another sentimental one. We'll put Diakite in there. I'm not sure Mason can play out here, so we'll put him just above the guy. And I'll play him as a trequartista, because that means he'll float around a little bit more. So we'll see. Diakite, Thompson and Mason coming on for the final game. And a 3-0 win. We shouldn't look past this. Everton were fourth at the start of this game. It looks like Manchester United are now beating Leicester. So yeah, as you can see there, Norwich, QPR and West Brom all been relegated. It was already confirmed. So we might have to look at some of their players potentially to pinch a couple of them off them. But so far, so good. And if we can sustain this game, Loka gets it away, and that looks like it's going to be it. And a 3-0 win at home to Everton. That's one of our better results this season. We'll have a scan through at some of the highlights of our first Premier League season. But that's definitely some of the best ones. Is that surely not Moreno from Liverpool? Can't be. He wouldn't do such a thing, would he? Would he? Okay, maybe he would. And that minus 11 goal difference, something we've got to fix next season. A bit of defensive cover. A new left-back, I think, is the priority. Well done, lads. Good win. And that gives us a 10th place finish in the league, which I wouldn't have predicted it. We didn't quite do back-to-back promotions. Obviously, we had a sort of dud year in the Championship where we got close to the playoffs but didn't quite make it. But a 10th place in the Premier League. Obviously, it was very close down there. Have Newcastle just sacked John Terry? Yeah. Oh, it shouldn't be funny, but it's quite funny. Taggart set for a pay increase, which is a shame, because I'm probably going to try and sell him at the end of the season, which is going to be tricky. There it is, the 12 million. I'm not going to skip forward, and we'll see what we get in our player awards and whatnot. And I'll show you our team of the season and such. And I'll report back with that. And at the same time, we'll look through all the stats for our team this year. A few little bits to show you before we progress. We didn't get Manager of the Year. I was half thinking we might get it, but they've given it to Manchester City boss Jorge Jesus. City won the league, so that'll be why. Elsewhere, our confidence. I think you might be interested in this. They are absolutely delighted with the performance of the club. They thought we did a fantastic overall performance in the Premier League. They enjoyed the signing of Susie, and they've impressed by Molo's performance. I didn't actually check to see if he got a major injury. I guess he was okay. I didn't see anything written. No, I think we're okay then. We didn't get any other awards in terms of the league. I don't think the team of the year, I'm not sure that's been announced yet. But even if it has, we didn't seem to get anyone close to it. Although, Lucas Boy's not had a bad season. And we will go through a few of the bits and pieces right now just to check in. As you can see, the only player we have on this is Zuccolini getting 15 yellow cards. He was suspended for the last game of the season. In terms of average ratings for other player stats, we don't seem, on the surface at least, to have anyone up there. Key tackles. Yes. Manamana. It was right up there. Maloka wasn't far behind either. Maloka's had a better season than I thought he would. I wasn't sure how much of a key role he'd play for us this season. But all in all, yeah, I'm just going to... This is a weird thing to check, but I just want to see. Zuccolini made a lot of mistakes. Mascherano's back at Liverpool. That's funny. Did I see Lucas Romero in the Premier League as well? Sorry, folks. That's just when you see Lucas Romero, he's at City. Well, that's original. So we'll carry on. We'll see if we get some players in our team of the season or whatnot. Well, I think in our own team of the season, we should get a couple of guys. The next day, when I talk about this, loads of new things happened. So our initial budget was set 35 million. Wow, I've only just seen that. 35 million pounds, 525,000 in terms of wage. I'm not sure what we're spending now, but that seems like a hell of a lot of money. 300,000. Wow. Okay, we have got room to manoeuvre, it's fair to say. The next big thing was the stadium expansion. I didn't think we could expand our stadium. We didn't have the option when talking to the board. We're going to ground share at the St Mary's Stadium in the 10 months that it'll take to complete. Interesting. Why don't you just accept what I said months ago when I wanted a new stadium? Never mind. Initial estimate indicates the planned expansion work will cost 12 million. Well, considering our finances, that's not too much of a problem. The board are delighted to announce that they've secured the external funding. So it's come from elsewhere, and 8,900 seats. I'm not sure what that takes us to, but I think it's around 24,000, if I'm not mistaken. And again, the board to upgrade the youth and training facilities, which is really, really good news. It's finally sort of coming to fruition that we're going to become a Premier League club. And not only that, but they've kept their Category 3 youth rating, which obviously we want to improve in the future, but isn't too bad at all. So if there's anything else, I will bring it to you. Okay, we're in the postseason, and Newcastle United have offered me a job after sacking John Terry, and I found that hilarious. They've come to me. They finished 15th in the Premier League. In reality, only 5 points behind us, and they've offered me an interview. They've not offered me the job, but they have offered me an interview. Definitely not. Mike Ashley. Stick your job where the sun doesn't shine. Scotland is where I'm suggesting. This video was meant to be short. Not short, but not this long. It's now an end of season summary, and Lucas Boy's come to me about having a chat with Manchester City. I don't know what he wants to do. I'm going to tell him no, frankly, because he's worth too much to me. Okay. It's all hypothetical. Stop talking to me. Yeah, shut up, idiot. Oh, man. I don't want to lose him. Obviously, he's a key guy. There's no way he's leaving. You should look elsewhere. Obviously, it's an Enrique's situation. If someone comes in with a mass amount of money, then we'll let him go. If they don't, then he sticks around. I'm just waiting now, because if it gets to the 1st of June, I'm going to show you how we did in the table anyway, like in terms of which players performed well last season, regardless of when we get the information about who was our fans player of the year and whatnot. So yeah, is it now? Does it come now? I just assumed it came around this area. It doesn't look like it though. So what we're going to do? Oh, we didn't even get manager of the month. Oh, flipping heck! Young player of the month? No. Player of the month? No. Okay. So let's have a look at it. So our players this season. Followingham was the only guy to play every single league game for us, and to be fair to him, he's had a pretty good year. Can't complain. He's a very solid goalkeeper. With goalkeepers, you never want to sell them if you can't get anyone better. And considering we've got him on £8,000 a week, he's fine. He's here for a couple more years. We obviously had that big drama with him a few seasons ago. We're trying to get him signed a new deal. The next big performer was obviously Lucas Boy. Played a lot of games for us, 15 goals in 35 starts, 4 assists. Only one player of the match, surprisingly. Yeah, that is weird, actually. I'm surprised that's so high. 53% shots on target percentage, which is not too bad at all. Let's switch this up and look at average ratings then. Jack Stevens didn't play all that much to me, so we won't count him. Ayard, Luongo. Just signed a new contract with Luongo. He's actually not that bad. Obviously, he starts in League One with us, and I wanted to keep someone around, to give us that feel of this is how far we've come and this is who we've brought with us. And Luongo is the obvious standout candidate for that. Elsewhere, I guess Zuccolini's had a very good year, 7.16. Maloka and Manamana have done well too. Aside from that, our ratings have been a bit hit and miss, really. I think you'll agree with that. Goals-wise, Lucas Boy got quite a few. Bonner probably won't get him back. He was hit with injury. It may look like he's hardly played this season, but it's just as a fact that he's hit by so many injuries. I don't know if any other people know if he's injury prone or not, but it seems to be the case, which is a shame because obviously last season he was so good for us. Looking further down the line, a lot of our goals coming from, well, sort of, I was going to say defensive-minded players, then literally just looked at Mana. A guy I never talk about is Fakir. I'm not sure if that's how you say his name, but he is improving so much. We got him in for less than £1 million. He's become a bit of a key player for us. He's an advanced playmaker, and he keeps improving massively. And I'm not sure what it is or how it is or why. But next season, expect him to play a lot because this season he's been brilliant for me. I'm not sure if that is sort of indicated in his average rating. Well, somewhat. It's not awful in a team which has sort of just gone about their business. Elsewhere, not that much to report in terms of pass accuracy. I guess we're going to base this on the highest performing player, Zuccolini, 86%, which is very high actually in this division. Especially for a team like us. Tackles per game, as you can see, our defenders have been right on it. And even when Luongo played, he was getting 8 tackles per game, which is very impressive. Dribbles per game. Ayard, when he plays for me, he's been a funny guy because he's not played that much. He's just a squad player. But he did get a very important win for us recently. He scored 2 goals in a game, and we won the game 2-1. I'm not sure who it was against, but that was really pleasing to see. So when you look at this appearances, you're obviously looking at the bottom end. Chris McCann, you don't think about it really, he just hasn't played at all this year. Christopher John McCann. So I think we can probably assume that everyone below there, like below Ted, is probably going to be sold. And then I look up a little bit, and Stevens will obviously probably... Well, Stevens is out on loan, so Stevens will probably be released. Joe Matic will stay as a squad player, or Taggart will, either or, and we'll probably bring in another left back. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. I will show you at the very end of this video who got Player of the Year and whatnot, so we'll wait for that. But as far as this bit's concerned, done. Another little thing has come through. We were the biggest overachievers. I don't know how long I have to wait to find out who my Player of the Seasons were. But I'm in the 24th of June. I've already done a little bit of business behind closed doors, but I'll show you that next episode. Yeah, please just tell me who was good. I feel like that always happens. I say something, and then the next day, it always happens. It happens to me so often, it's ridiculous. Anyway, I've not seen this yet, so I'm going to reveal this as you see it too. So, first on the list, Player of the Year has been given to Zuccolini. I'm a bit surprised. You can see the votes there. Maloka and Mana weren't too far behind. But yeah, Zuccolini. Bit surprised, but okay. Pleasantly surprised, I guess, as I brought him in the summer. So, best 11. Here we are. I assume this is the best 11 for the season. That makes us a lot of sense. Oh, Jose Rodriguez is up there. So, obviously, Kagawa and Noel Mason in that hole. Fakir is obviously in there. Zuccolini. Harry Wilson, who I will just, spoiler alert, signed him on a loan deal. Got him back again for another year because I think he's really good. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Not too surprised. All-time Hall of Fame, Craig Tanner, the boy Craig Tanner is still in there. He's just not that good, so he stays where he is. His contract's not even expiring. Can't even get him on a free. But yeah, that's not too bad. Abika still remains up top. Lucas Boyle will be fighting for it next season if he stays around. Elsewhere, that's pretty much it. There's not much more to say. Well, yeah. There's the season, a solid Premier League finish. I want predictions. Where do you think I'll finish next season? Obviously, you don't know who I'm going to buy, so it'll be difficult to say, but I'm going to try and sort of increase and rise above those expectations anyway. So yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, enjoyed this kind of pre-season, post-season rundown, do leave a like, and if you want to see more of this save, as well as the FM League, subscribe to the channel. So from me, Dr. Benji, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, goodbye.